everyone, and welcome to SMAdulting, also known as SMAdulting. We are three people who have spinal muscular atrophy. We're all women. We are all non-ambulatory, and we all have questions for each other. Since it's the first one, and I hope the first of many, 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 and I hope the first of a few where people interact with us and ask questions that we can possibly answer. Of course, some questions are taboo and you are not allowed to ask them because we will not answer and I will give you a big old ban. But we hope this is a way to illuminate people that yes, people with SMA do grow up. And yes, we do have a lot of problems that we have to deal with as adults. I am going to introduce my two cohorts and then I'm going to introduce myself. I'll start with Joyce. Tell me about yourself. Well, tell the world about yourself.
Um, I'm getting nervous right now, but I'll just start with something simple. My name is Joyce, and I'm from KL, and I'm currently working from home as a graphic designer and content creator, also writer, and I'm renting out my own. Yeah, I'm renting out my own room, and I'm living with my caregiver currently. So that's all about me for now.
Cool, cool, cool. Ainaa, tell us about yourself.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Ainaa. I have SMA type 2. I'm a freelance graphic designer and living in Cal.
Okay. I am Sharus. I often complain about disability stuff. I am very, very quite disabled. I have spinal muscular atrophy type 3. Um, little pudgy on the sides. I like the food. The food also likes me very much. Um, and I'm glad to bring these two people with me to you to explain. We're gonna do a round robin question and answer tennis kind of thing. And I would like to start because Aina has already answered one of my questions. This is to all. Um, what spinal muscular atrophy type do you have? And how do you explain SMA to the rando on the street? Because Aina already answered her SMA type 2. How would you explain that to the average person?
I don't usually explain to them. I make them involved, like with for my friends. I make them involved in my activities, my routine, so they know. Oh, so SMA cannot do this. SMA cannot do this. That's how
Mm,
they understand what SMA is.
okay. Okay. Joyce, how do you what kind of SMA type do you have and how do you explain SMA to like the random person?
Okay, I have spinal muscular atrophy type 3, and usually I don't try to explain, I just let them know what is my condition. And I do give them the whole name, whole term of the disease. And if they do ask questions, I will let them know about the disease and everything. But if they don't ask, then I won't, you know, just like go and explain.
Okay, okay. As I've mentioned before, I have SMA type 3 and I often get stopped by randos on the street because I go out quite often. I used to go out a lot more before COVID happened, and I use a funky thing called the travel scoot. What happens is people think it's kind of cool, and then they stop me to ask me questions, and then they ask me like, "Oh, you seem perfectly fine and capable. Why are you using this machine?" And I'm like, "Oh, I have SMA. Do you know what that is?" And they're like, "Oh, I've never heard of it before." And then I will have to explain, well, SMA is a degenerative disease. It means it gets worse as you get older, and there's no stopping it. The only thing stopping it is death, just like taxes. Um, and often they kind of don't understand. So what you have to say is, okay, it's like your body is made up of circuits of wires and motors. The problem is the wire that we have just gets frayed and broken a lot faster than everybody else, and it doesn't get replaced. So these wires connect your brain to your muscles to tell it what to do. My wires are so frayed that half of the time I tell my muscles to go, my muscles like, I can't hear you. It's really loud. And then they have a nap. So With that, that is my first question. I'm going to pass it to Joyce to ask her first question, and then to Ainaa to ask hers, and then we'll circle back to me, and then we all have about 10 questions. But if we go over time, we'll just say for next session, which is next month.
Okay. So for my question, let me see my list. 10 questions. Okay. I'll start with number one. What are your biggest pet peeves about SMA? Okay, this means that what is the thing you really find detestable about SMA? What makes you like really frustrated when sometimes you have things happen because of SMA? So we'll start with Anna first.
Not being able to shampoo my own hair, like I need help from other people. It's annoying. It's a daily task that I need to do. Yeah.
Okay. So Shah.
There's so many annoying things. I think the most pressing would be just to get up and pee in the middle of the night. Like for most people, you don't really have to think twice. On a bad day, if I have to go pee in the middle of the night, I have to sort of struggle through the process of having to call somebody to help me. Like, I don't want to wake people up at 3 o'clock in the morning. They're asleep. I feel like an asshole. Nobody wants to feel like an asshole.
Okay. I am laughing because that is so relatable.
Hashtag relatable memes.
Okay, my biggest pet peeves about SMA, the one thing that I find so frustrating is that I have to depend on people, and I really don't like depending on people because I feel that it's, I don't know, I just get frustrated every time I have to ask for help.
I
I've kind of
understand.
like gotten used to it as I got older, but I still feel frustrated. So that's why I always plan out my schedule. I have a fixed schedule, I have a fixed routine where I plan out everything from toileting, resting, to the time I work, so that the caregiver doesn't get burned out, and it works both ways.
I relate to that. People often ask me why I have a schedule for everything, and I'm like, it's very important to have a schedule for everything because what takes the average person who can sort of walk around and have normal strength, like a typical 10 base strength, is give me a second. Give me 1 second, really quick.
Your time, take your time.
Sorry. I just had a shipment. I want to complain about GNT Express for a while, like just a tangent. GNT Express lost my parcel twice
Oh
within
my god.
2 months, and it was the same thing. So I ordered these wheelie bins. It's like the IKEA wheelie bins, but it's cheap. It's 35 ringgit. The baskets are plastic. I don't mind. Does the job. Anyway, I ordered it. I think I ordered it one in March. They lost it. Took a month and then came back to me like a month after I complained and said, "Oh, we kind of lost it." Canceled it, and then I ordered it again from the same seller, and they lost it again through the month of April. And then finally, I
This
went to another buyer. I mean, I went to another seller, ordered it just 2 days ago, and lo, it has arrived. I'm like, why? JNT Express should change their name to JNT Never Arrive. Pay your people more, JNT. Anyway, so that's not the point. What was I complaining about? Yes, schedules. So schedules are really, really important to me. I think as a person with disability, what happens to you for the most part is I'm not saying all people with disabilities go through this. I'm saying most of the disabled persons go through this because we have to schedule. It takes us a lot longer to do something. For example, getting up. People take 2 seconds. I take a long time. I'm not sure how long I take, but sometimes it takes a few seconds, sometimes it takes 2 minutes. It really depends.
Yeah, it really depends.
yeah, can relate that.
hmm So scheduling, we all inevitably become type A personalities and are very
Oh wait,
demanding.
yeah, yeah,
hmm
yeah. Sorry. I think one of my friends they cannot connect. there a
Oh,
way to connect?
they cannot connect. What do they
Like
mean?
he's trying to connect to the
Uh,
browser.
you should be able to just get on Twitch. It I I'm not sure how to sort of steamroll this.
Okay, so
Me am no tech support.
okay, never mind. We'll just carry on.
Okay. Let us know if they're having problems with Twitch. Like you should be able to just log into the thingo and sign in if you have to, but you can just watch without signing in. But if you want to chat, you do have to sign in because they want to make sure you are a person and not a bot.
So,
Yes. Anyway, so we do inevitably become type A personality type people. Very demanding, but at the same time very guilty. Like it's
yeah.
we have a lot of guilt that we have to go through, which will be a question later. Ainaa, I think. What is
My
your
question.
question? Yeah.
Oh, okay. What would you do if you don't have SMA?
Oh man. So many things. So many things. What would I do if I didn't have SMA? Um, I think I would be a chef. Yeah, I love food. I love making food. And growing up, I would be the one just making random food and making people eat it. Um, Thankfully, most of them was nice. There was this one time I made a steak with mango salsa. It was a strange pairing. The salsa was nice. The steak was nice, but together they did not complement each other very well. So that was a learning process. But food makes me very very happy. Um, um, and
Mhm.
and there's a certain calm pleasure when it comes to sort of taking apart various animal carcasses to prepare, like siang ikan, for example. Very soothing thing to do. It stinks, but it's
Please.
very fun.
Siang ikan. Okay. Mhm.
I can tell you the thing I don't like to clean is prawns because prawns, even when they're dead, they try to hurt you
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
the head's so pointy. Oh my god. Joyce, what do you want to be
Yes.
if you didn't have SMA?
I think I would have been a pianist.
Oh damn. Yeah.
Mhm.
Can you
Yeah.
do you do a lot of
Oh,
sorry, Hannah?
I what? Sorry.
can you play piano?
Yeah, I used to play the piano when I was younger. I started playing the piano when I was 8,
Oh,
and
nice.
I played until grade 5, and then I couldn't go on anymore because of my hands, which were deteriorating.
Oh, wait,
I used to practice for
grade 5
sorry,
piano or piano until you were in grade 5?
grade 5. I studied until grade 5, classical piano,
That is intense.
Mhm.
and I used to practice for 4 hours every day.
Oh, that is
Wow.
wild.
I was addicted to playing the piano. I loved it. I adored the piano. I was in love with classical music. It was like my heart and soul, and I loved it. But SMA took that away. So
I mean, SMA taketh, but SMA
Except
also SMA doesn't really giveth anything. We have the internet now, so because you said you like classical music and you have grade 5 classical piano is a lot. So I'm assuming you can read sheet music very well. You can probably play by ear if you felt like it, and you probably have perfect pitch.
play by ear, not so. But if it's like sight reading, yes. I'm not really much of a genius in music. It's more like I practice it. I perfect it so that I sound good. So if you're talking about perfect pitch, I don't have that because only if you have that actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Who's your favorite? Who is your favorite composer?
Composer, it has to be. Well, people usually go for the generic composers like well, Chopin is. I think most people would choose him, but I like Liszt better.
I
Franz
love
Liszt.
Liszt. I love Liszt. Um,
And yeah, I love his that one piece called Liebestrom.
I I am very, very bad with names, but I adore Friends List.
Yeah.
Um, hang
Franz
on, I'm.
Liz and Eric Satie,
Uh huh.
Claude Debussy, and who else? Bach is not bad, but kind of heavy.
Uh huh.
Beethoven, Beethoven is kind of common. Mozart, Mozart music is like not really to my liking, except for the Rondo alla Turca.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love
That
that
is
one. And
also my favorite. I like Presto.
so,
I forgot who did it. I just have the Epica version, which is like the heavy metal version.
oh,
Um, Classical music and heavy metal go hand in hand.
yeah,
Most of the time, if you like classical, chances are you would like certain kinds of heavy metal. Not all, but certain kinds.
I like heavy metal. I like rock music.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. What about Aina?
for me, I would love something to do a job that need to travel often.
Oh,
So there will
traveling
be
is
a
so
tour
fun.
guide. Tour
Yeah,
guide?
it can be anything. Tour guide. Kind of
Tour
anything that need to
guide.
travel from place to place.
Nice, that's
You
nice.
if there's anybody who owns hotel chains listening in right now, if you guys need a disabled person to come test your disabled room, call me. Call Aina
Yeah.
as well. Like
But
just I will
Yeah,
test your room for you. I will make it better. Well, I know what I know you like traveling. I know you really like traveling from all the pictures that you've taken, and you travel a lot with your parents, right?
yeah.
There's so many questions I have to ask you about traveling
Go
in general. But I think we kind of have to stick to the round robin, otherwise esok pun tak habis kot. I think it's my turn again, isn't it?
Yes, it's your turn.
Yes, it is.
right,
It
your
is
turn.
I. Okay. This is a question to all, so anybody can jump in at any point. Uh, what is the main difference you can see when you compare all of us? Because I have type 3, Joyce and Aina, you have type 2, right?
Mm. Joyce is
I'm
type
type
3.
Type 3. But me and Joyce are so visibly different when it comes to types that it's also why doctors are very confused when we go, "Oh, I'm type 3." And they're like, "No, you seem more like a type 2." And I'm like, "I think I know myself better than you do." Um what kind of differences can you see like offhand?
I think you have more hand strength,
Mm. Yep, true.
and your scoliosis isn't that bad.
Mm.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
scoliosis, you have scoliosis, right?
Yeah, I have scoliosis.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
And
have scoliosis?
lordosis. Yeah, yeah. It's very minor. I have to sort of do a lot of stretches, keep my back up. I used to have a physical trainer when I was younger, and I went to the bank, which is next to a hospital, and my old PT was there because he had a knee surgery. And what he said was he saw me from far away, and he was like, "I think that's Shah." And then he sort of came up to me and said hello, and then we started talking, and then he went, "You know how I recognized you?" And I was like, "How?" "You have wonderful posture." And I was like, "Thanks." Thanks, that means a lot. But that's how people can sort of like see who I am. Aside from the fact that I use like a scooter, because when I was doing physiotherapy with him, um I could still walk, but that was so many years ago. I think I was just in my teens, like after high school.
Oh,
That was so long ago.
I think I last walked when I was 5 years old.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Like,
You know,
do you remember
I
like
remember.
points? Was there a lot of fear when you walked when you were a kid? Because you know, kids are kind of dumb, and we do dumb things like run into things.
I think
Um,
you could literally call me a Humpty Dumpty because I was always falling down. I mean,
uh-huh.
every few steps, I would just like fall down. So yeah, it was difficult to walk when I was young. It was very,
Mm-hmm.
very difficult, and my mother wasn't the most understanding person. So
Mm. I mean, we can talk about that if you feel like it. No pressure at all.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't take to it too kindly. She didn't like that if I fall down, and then she would be like, "Why did you fall down?" And I was like speechless because I was still a kid,
Mm-hmm.
so I couldn't really explain. And oh, no, no, it usually ends up with physical abuse. So yeah, that's what happens most of the time. So the last time that I walked was yeah 5, and then I had another fall, and then I stopped walking after that. So yeah,
Oh dear.
At what age you stop walking?
Mm.
5.
Oh,
Was it like a hard stop? I mean, because your mom was sort of abusive and stuff. Hi,
So
Bathma.
hi, Fatma.
Welcome to the chat. Welcome to SMAdulting. I hope you're entertained and learn more about what SMA is like. Yeah. So Joyce, was it gradual? Because for me, it was very very gradual. Like every day, it just became a lot harder to walk.
yeah, it was gradual, but it was kind of like pretty fast for my condition because it was, at first I could crawl, and then after that I could stand, and then after that I could walk, but then after that it like go backwards, went backwards, everything went backwards. So
Mm.
I lost the ability to walk, I lost the ability to stand, I lost the ability to crawl. So I lost the ability to stand when I was at the age of 10, and I lost the ability to crawl at the age of, I think, almost at the same time, 11, something like that, 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. Then after that, I was always on the floor, kind of like dragging myself on the floor with one hand, my right hand. That's why it's kind of like twisted if I stretch out my right hand.
Oh, wait, like twisted.
Oh,
It's like bent.
Uh huh.
People with,
Like double jointed.
it's kind of like, you know, bow leg, but it's kind of like a hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. When we meet up in
I
real
mean,
life, I'm
yeah.
I'm gonna have to like
Like what?
extend my hand and just
Examine?
mostly because I keep thinking that you probably have really long fingers because you play piano. I have short fingers. I will never even dream of playing the piano. They'll look at my hands, you'll be like, you can like hit 4 keys if you're lucky. And I'll be like, cry.
I can still play, but it's not as good as the last time because it's already deteriorated. Yeah, so I can still press the chords and everything, but it's kind of like 2, 3 chords. Yeah,
I'm sorry I keep bringing this up because I
it's
love
okay.
music. I
It's okay. It's
I
okay. I
cannot
understand.
play
okay.
music. I cannot play music. I'm just like very excited about music in general. I love music theory. Um, I'll tell you a story about when I was younger and I told my dad, "Oh yeah, I would like to learn guitar." And then he was like, "Okay." And he left for a few hours and I thought, "I'm going to get classes. Isn't that lovely?" And he came back with a book that he got from one of the bookshops. It came with a CD and it said in huge letters, the book is massive, right? And it says rock guitar for beginners. And with that, at least I learned how to play Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, which it's a good song. You should listen to it. They're old, but they're good. Anyway, have you tried like the electronic pianos?
Yeah, I've tried the electronic piano, and well, it's kind of the same, but the octaves are like limited to 3,
Uh
4,
huh.
I think. Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, for the normal stand-up piano, it's like 7 octaves. But for the electronic piano, it's kind of like 3 or 4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really sure. I still
Right.
prefer the classical piano.
Mm-hmm.
It has more like, I don't know, the touch is nice. It's more original.
Mm. It's a very nice tactile feeling. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Bathma, there's so many kinds of instruments that I want to try. But I seem to be very attracted to the big chunky ones like bass. I think I would be a very prolific bass player because I can make a very discerning bass face. Um, Double bass is also really nice. The tenor saxophone is a beautiful, beautiful instrument. Trumpets are also beautiful instrument. Fun fact: when you have spinal muscular atrophy, your lungs can be impacted by your scoliosis, which reduces the amount of air that you can breathe in.
Reduces the capacity.
Yes, so things like trumpets and any other wind instruments becomes less easy to do. Also, you have to
Wait,
hold
wait,
it up.
wait, wait, wait. Hold on. Has any one of you tried the what do you call that? It's like three glass things, and then there's balls inside, and then you have to kind of like blow it. What's that called? I forgot.
Oh, the spirometer.
Yeah, the spirometer. Yeah. Have you guys ever tried that?
I
I
tried that,
I think
but
so.
yeah, I tried that, but none of the
How,
ball that goes
how
out.
many balls? How many balls did you manage to like blow up?
None.
None.
Zero.
I think I managed to like just pull up the first one, and then the second one was like in the middle, and that was it. And then the third one was like not moving at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we had one because my brothers had asthma,
Okay.
but that was a long time ago, so I haven't used or tried one ever since. But I do remember using the cough assist machine and sort of fighting with it.
Which cough assist machine?
Like I can't remember when, but Edmund and
It's not the
Suki we went.
BiPAP, right? It's not the BiPAP, right?
It's the by
No, no, no.
no,
Oh
no,
no,
it's not
no.
No,
That
different.
one was a nightmare for me.
really. Tell
Yeah,
me
You have
more.
that?
I got hospitalized in 2019, and then I was admitted for a lung infection, and then they put me on BiPAP. Just that one time, the doctor forced me to use the BiPAP, and then I lost my breath
Oi.
for a kind of like a week. I couldn't sit up and breathe by myself because of the BiPAP.
Wait,
Yeah.
what's a BiPAP? What does it do? Does it force you into
Yeah,
breathing?
yeah, it's like it kind of like forces your lungs, the air kind of like goes in your lungs, but when you fight it, it's kind of like hell.
Oh,
Yeah, you just like you don't fight it. You need to follow the air.
I cannot do that. I've tried. The nurses scolded me and everything. I really couldn't breathe that time.
oh, I cannot even imagine. I am so afraid of getting into that situation
I'm wearing
because
BiPAP every night, actually.
Like drowning, it's like
oh,
Mm.
drowning, literally drowning.
Aina, do you think it helps you at all?
I think so. My oxygen is like kind of increased.
Mm-hmm. Is it because of your
According to this,
scoliosis?
maybe. But then because of my carbon dioxide is too much in the lungs, so doctor
Mm.
has to get rid of it by
Mm-hmm.
wearing it for a year, or is it
Mm-hmm.
a year plus? So it's kind of reduced.
Hmm. Okay, that makes sense. Um, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because everything in your body is controlled by a series of muscles pulling on what is that word? Words are hard. Um, ligaments. For example, if you want to breathe in, a part of the thing below the rib cage, it's like a flap of skin muscle pushes in and increases your lung capacity.
The
Um,
diaphragm.
yeah, the diaphragm. Thank you. What are words? Words are hard. Um, I'll take a second. Batma, it's going to be a monthly thing, so I'm guessing, and if Joyce and Aina are in agreement, we'll do it every end of the month. Um, and I think 2 hours tops would be peachy. I think we could
Yeah.
talk forever, but it's also at
Mm-mm.
night, so we want you guys to go to sleep. But yeah, so the diaphragm is controlled by ligaments and a series of muscles, and I'm pretty sure like a doctor can explain it to you better. I am not a doctor. I just read and watch a lot of things. Um, but if your muscles are affected by SMA, there's not enough of that pull or push, so it does get a lot harder to breathe, which is
Sometimes I
why,
do get breathless.
uh-huh,
Sometimes I do get breathless. You guys get that too?
yeah, yeah. Um,
Sometimes, if I'm too tired.
Thankfully, yeah, yeah. If it not often though. If I get overexcited and want to talk continuously, then I'm like, okay, I forgot to breathe.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
happens.
yeah. I also find that if I don't breathe properly, standing up and moving is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Like everything just becomes so hard. Right. Second question for Joyce. What is
What
your
is it?
question?
Okay, wait. Hold on. Okay, I'll ask the second question.
Yeah.
What do you usually do when you get one of those really bad SMA days? For example, feeling extremely tired, can't find the energy, or limbs malfunctioning, facing a body part glitch. What do you usually do when stuff like that happens? So
Sleep.
we'll start off with Ainaa first.
I will just sleep all day until it gets better.
Yeah, that's one of the options that I usually choose. Any other uh, ways that you cope with it?
Maybe exercise helps a bit.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sha?
I tend to on bad days, I will have to ask my brother for help if I need to stand up, go to the bathroom, which is very embarrassing, kind of, because as the kaka, you're supposed to like be able to be the head of the family, sort of, kind of. Um, but the embarrassment aside, there's a lot of things that I tend to do. I've set up my room in such a way where it's easy for me to move around. If it's really really bad, I tend to stay on my bed, and I have a technically kind of powerful enough computer to do all my work. I use TeamViewer to attach it to my smaller surface, so I do work on my bed, and it looks like I'm in a hospital bed, but it works. And aside from that, I will do a lot of stretches. Y'all don't understand, man. When you were a kid, like when you were a teen, and adults tell you stretching is good for you, oh my God. You don't sort of fathom how good it is until you become old and you start stretching and you're like, this is the best thing in the world. 20-minute stretches before you go to sleep is so good. And yes, hydrotherapy actually helps. If I could get back into hydrotherapy and if Malaysia had good swimming pools. Did you know the swimming pool, the Paralympic swimming pool in Ampang, in um, Kampung Pandan, does not have disability access? I went there
Oh, not
thinking,
for Paralympic,
yeah,
but
I went there
okay.
thinking Paralympic swimming pool, right? Surely they have ramp, right? Surely they have any sort of
Joyce?
like a wheelchair thing.
Uh,
The bathroom doesn't even have a shower seat.
oh,
Oh,
Like
very
there's no
disabled friendly.
ramps. It's just a 50-meter pool. And I'm sitting there like, you're supposed to be Paralympic swimming pool. Okay, you friendly. What is this? I felt so angry that day. But since I was there, okay, like just chuck me in the pool. Bismillah, everything is okay. Oh, it's so cold. Um, but I was so angry. There's so many things we could do in this country that is just squandered because some people want extra money in their pockets. You know what I mean?
Yep,
But
yep.
yes, hydrotherapy is so good if we could get access to pools that have disabled equipment. Simple things like ramps. I don't understand why hospitals want to spend all that money on high tech equipment when they just put ramps. Ramps are free. You don't have to maintain ramps. Oh, I'm so angry. I could do this entire tirade every day. Like, I will never get sick of complaining about that because I love swimming. I am one of those people who was born and was thrown in the pool at the age of 1 and flailed and sort of went out thinking, yeah, everybody can swim. I found out last year that not everybody can swim. And then my friend was like, yeah, because not everybody has access to pools. And I'm like, I guess. Okay, sure. But it's kind of important for you to learn how to not die swimming. And I was that kid in the swimming pool who's always like, let's play mermaid. I am a mermaid.
Oh my god.
Mermaids for life. You know how some people are princess girls? Like, okay, the two of
Yep.
you, were you princess
Okay.
girls, mermaid girls, unicorn girls?
I'm not really much of that kind of thing. More like a rocker girl.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I think I am.
Sorry, I know what?
I think I am.
Like a mermaid girl?
Yeah, maybe I'm not into the doctors or what. I'm the very girlish one.
But which class? Like, um, were you into unicorns? Were you into like I'm a
I'm into
princess?
Barbie.
Okay, so definitely like Princess Barbie kind of thing. I was
Mm,
never into Barbie. I was just like mermaid. I watched The Little Mermaid as a child so many times. Makes
Okay.
sense. Water is awesome. Also, diving is awesome.
Have you
Not the
died
point.
before?
have you died?
Yes, I haven't
Oh,
done it in
that's
a really
cool.
long time. I would probably fail the refresher.
Where
Um,
did you dive at?
I learned how to dive. I did the diving course in a private pool somewhere in Selangor. I forgot the name of the company. It's been years. Um, and then I did the open water in Tulamben in Bali. So my first dive was a wreck dive. It's the USAT Liberty in Bali. It's so pretty. Oh,
Wow.
um, I recommend to all if you can afford it. But snorkeling is also
Uh,
fun. I think it's something about the water. When you go into the water exercises yourself for you. Because when you come out, you become jellyfish. You're like, I'm tired. I just want to nap.
hmm.
It's
I haven't
it's.
been in a pool since I was, I think the last time I was 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, never been in a pool after that.
I think there's a whole rigmarole. Like the only thing stopping me from wanting to get into the pool every day is putting on the swimming suit.
Is
Because
it
it's.
necessary to put on the
It
swimming
is
suit?
not right.
I mean, if you want to swim in public, I don't think they want to see you naked. So.
I mean, like you cannot wear like t-shirts and shorts or
Uh,
anything.
well, ideally you don't because t-shirts will shed the cotton and then it'll go into the swimming pool filter machine and make it like rust out faster.
No.
Um, but just generally, like getting into swimming suit is very very difficult. Like it's stretchy and when it's wet, it's horrible. Um, and when you swim in a t-shirt, the the air inside it expands and you start looking like a balloon. And I don't know, it's just I feel like it's unsafe.
Okay.
Like a part of me feels like it is probably unsafe. Would you like to go hydrotherapy, Joyce?
For me, I have a fear of water.
Oh,
Oh,
do you know where it came from?
I think, well, I think from last time when I
Mm-hmm.
was young, I was in the pool and then I keep like sinking down.
Oh
Yeah.
no. It's fine.
So,
It's fine.
so I kept swallowing the water, fluorine water, and everyone was like in the pool, and I was like, oh my god.
That is terrifying.
Yeah. Because like when your mom just dumps you in the pool and then doesn't care if you're sinking, it's like scary.
Your mom, like stories about your mom, she's a piece of work. Oh my goodness.
She's actually, like she's angry when she sees you sinking down. She'll ask, "Why are you sinking down?" And being a 5-year-old, I don't know what to reply, so I just
Oh,
sink, and she has to pull me up.
oh my God. Well, you're alive now, and you can
Yeah, I'm
use that
still alive.
opportunity to shit on her as much as you want.
Nah, I'm not going to shit on her because
It's just not worth it.
yeah, it's just not, worth it.
Ah, okay. And do you go swimming a lot?
not really. Not more.
Do you want to go?
Last time, yes. I
Mm-hmm.
used to go for hydrotherapy every weekend, but then no. After I think 7 years, I've stopped it.
Oh, okay. Susah kan? Like it's such a chore to go to the
Yeah.
place, tukar baju, go into the
Mm-mm.
pool,
Yeah. Very
but
mafan, very leceh.
very leceh, very mafan. But it's so good. Like it's so effective. Like when I was doing hydrotherapy, things that normal people would do online, like push-ups, wall push-ups, squatting, walking, crab walking, sumo walking, every kind of
Yeah.
walk you can think of, we will do it in
Easy.
water. Because you're not afraid of falling down. Because if you do that on land and if you jatuh, there's a chance you might sprain your foot, which means you cannot walk for a month. But if you fall in water, well, I float. I have very high fat content. So I float, whether I like it or not.
Okay.
Anyway, Joyce, did we answer your questions?
Yeah, you did answer my questions, but I haven't answered my own question.
Yes. Answer your question.
Okay, so just now my question was, what do you usually do when you get one of those really bad SMA days? Like feeling extremely tired and no energy, the limbs are like malfunctioning, and then the body part is not working or something like that. Well, usually when it happens, it's like I'm really tired and then I have to like rest. So I usually just lie down and just relax because forcing myself to do something when it's malfunctioning is not going to work. It's going to end up very bad. Kind of like goes backwards when you force it. So I've done that before and I don't want to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I usually just like similar to Ainaa, I sleep. Yeah. So I
Oh,
think it's time for Ainaa's question.
yes. But before that, Bathma, UMMC is PPUM, right?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
It's one and the same.
yeah.
So I have a story about PPUM punya swimming pool, right? It's
Yeah, it's
underground,
very noisy.
and they closed it. Don't quote me on this. Like, I don't want any PPUM people to come at me. Like, don't
I
at
know they
me.
closed it. They closed it. Yeah,
They
they did close it.
I don't know if it's still closed now, but for the longest time, several years ago, they closed it for I think a year. The excuse was Palm Rosa is dirty and blah blah.
Yeah.
But somebody told me that that is not the real reason, and because we're
Someone died there.
Malaysian, we are people of the Nusantara, which means there's some ghosty things going on. And apparently, what happened was there was an apparition that was causing things to move by itself. Blood was coming down from the ceiling. So they had to close it because it was haunted.
Seriously?
Oh.
So I thought that was the funniest thing. Like, we don't joke around when it comes to hauntings in this country. We do not. Like, that is something that is so ingrained in our culture as people of the Nusantara, as people of Southeast Asia. Like, when we watch horror movies, it's always like, "Shh, you call this scary? Y'all have never lived in Malaysia, okay?" But when I heard there was blood coming down from the ceiling and it was affecting everything, I was like, yeah, checks out. Because there was another story about the connecting tubes in between buildings in PPUM. And apparently the nurses are so used to it, they don't care. So one of the stories is it was in the evening just before Maghrib. One of the nurses was going to another wing and she was crossing that tube and flanking the tube are trees. But as she walked, as it got darker, the trees moved with her as and they rustled next to her, and it felt like it was getting closer and closer and louder and louder. And when she walked, it went with her, like it increased in velocity as she got faster.
Oh.
Like that is wild. I don't want this to happen. I'm chicken. I am afraid of a lot of things. I do not want to meet a ghost.
Okay.
That is besides the point. I know. What was your question?
What's my question? Where do you hope to be 5 years from now?
5 years from now. I don't know. Uh, doing the same thing I'm doing now, except with access to SMA therapies. Hopefully, like if we fight hard enough, if we make enough noise, if MOH hopefully listens, we might get a cut of the nice pie of please give us a chance and help us live. Um, drug therapies, man. 5 years. Let's go.
Joyce?
For me, where do I see myself in 5 years?
In a mirror.
I think still working, but with more money. um, and I think a better life. I hope. Yeah, something like that. Just doing my thing.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, but I know I just go with the flow. So I just hope that it gets better as I go.
Mm. I mean, we can only hope that it doesn't get worse. Like
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
we know it's gonna get bad, but we just hope it doesn't get worse. Like the whole thought of like ending up bedridden is kind of terrifying to me. I don't want to become bedridden because my the inside of my head is terrifying.
I think I'm already considered like halfway there
Mm-hmm.
because I cannot do anything. I cannot do much by myself. I need to depend on my caregiver for
Mm.
most of the things in my life. I think around 90% of ADL is performed by her, and I'm like halfway there. So I think getting, becoming, into the state of bedridden is inevitable. I mean, someday you are going to end up like that
Mm-hmm.
because of the condition.
I
Because
think
this condition isn't going to get better, as we all know. We have the same condition.
yep.
It progresses, and it doesn't get, it doesn't like stay maintained for long. I mean, we do go for rehab and stuff like that. But it just helps slows down
Mm-hmm.
the progress.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
won't stop. It won't stop.
Yeah, there's no real thing that comes to stopping the progress. Like we can hope that the treatment makes it better. At least gives us a little bit of strength. Thank you for
If
the
it's
follow.
if it's
I
accessible.
appreciate if it's accessible. And we'll make it accessible. We're a kind and supportive country. Um, we'll make it accessible. Where there's a will, there's a way. We just have to make it happen. Some of us. Well, it's just like I think about having I think about becoming bedridden a lot. Like, what are my contingency plans? Most of them might sound a little bit negative to the layperson, but I think it's a
Yeah.
positive thing to be able to choose when you end. That's not what I want to talk about right now. We can have that conversation some other time,
I
maybe
am
in the
actually
future.
I'm actually interested in that topic because I always think of that as an option.
Yeah, we should talk about that maybe in like
We should.
Next
two.
session.
Well, we can
Yeah, next
definitely
time.
do it next session. Next session, death.
Totally.
Not the band. Um, but I was thinking if we can have like some sort of like virtual reality setup, then I don't think I would mind so much because I technically live on the internet when I'm not outside, like playing Stardew Valley or playing No Man's Sky when I'm bedridden. Sounds like a nice deal. But when I really think about it, I that's not the life I want to live. I want to be outside. I
Yeah.
want to threaten to kick people and not do it because
But I
threatening
think
people is funny.
the main concern is what happens if you know we get to that stage of bedridden, and then the first thing that comes to mind is work. How do we continue work?
Mm,
How do we
um,
continue supporting ourselves
that
financially and staying independent?
that
You know,
is a very
That
very
is
important
very hard.
question. Yeah.
yeah, I mean because we need financial assistance, right? So
Mm.
yeah, so you get the point.
Yeah, I do. I do. Right now I am in between work. Because of COVID, I had to stop a lot of the things that I was doing, and now I decided I'm gonna take a rest. I'm gonna take a sabbatical. I'm gonna learn things. I'm gonna stream a lot. I'm gonna do it until I get sick of it, and then I'm gonna go back to working because we can do that
Right.
for a while at least. I have the
I wish I
privilege.
could do that.
Yeah. Like I
I wish.
definitely have the privilege to do that, and I definitely understand where you're coming from in that if you consider stopping work, that is your livelihood because you have people to pay, and it's terrifying. It's a terrifying thought, and that's something
Yes.
that we as adults should talk about more because with diseases in general, people often look at people who are under 18 as if yes they are the future, but for some reason people don't think about those children growing into adults.
Yep.
Like they're gonna grow older. You're gonna have to let them go, and they're going to have to find their way in this world. They're going to have to learn to be self-sufficient. You can't take care of them forever.
That's true.
And that's wild to me that people don't think of these things.
Because they only see the present.
They only
They,
see the present. That is
it's
true.
either that they don't want to see what's in the future, or they choose to ignore it. It's either one.
Mm. Also, again, I have the privilege of being able to see myself in the future, being able to fight for myself. I am not working currently. Joyce and Ainaa are working. Joyce, what do you do?
I am a graphic designer and I do content writing. So I do both jobs actually, and I do have a part-time job. So it's a full-time job and a part-time job.
Mm-hmm. And Ainaa, you are a graphic designer. What
I'm a
do you
graphic
do?
designer too.
Mm-hmm.
I also teach arts, and I do advocate also. Do
Mm-hmm.
writing sometimes and moderate the website.
Mm-hmm. Um, I showed the poster to some of my friends, and they were like, "Why are all of you designers?" And my reply was, "Because we can't be anything else." Situationally, design is what we can do because it allows us to stay in one place. It allows us to use the computer. And even that, you have companies that say, no, you have to come into the office. Why do you have to come into the office? You sit on the chair anyway. You have to stare at me while I work. It's not like I don't do the work.
Yeah, I mean you can work remotely. It doesn't affect the work because most of the work you have to like go online and then you have to email them as well. So it's just pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only thing about not being in the office is you don't see everybody's
Your
beautiful face
boss.
lah.
You don't see
Um,
your boss's
Play
face.
virtually also.
oh man, I hate virtual meetings so much. I'm a very like huge extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
Virtual meetings make me so tired, and it's so different from meeting people in like a space. Like a
Oh,
space, I get the feeling that I never want to go home. Like if I'm out when I was younger and I didn't have like so much aches and pains and like SMA related tiredness, I'll be like I can stay out for 36 hours. Easy.
36 hours outside.
Yes. No need to go home.
I will not be able to do that.
Like just being around people gives me a lot of energy.
Oh, that drains my energy because I'm an introvert.
Ah, yes, that is true. Yeah. Anyway.
But what I mean regarding about using graphic design as a job, actually it's more of a choice for me because I like art since I was young. I like music, I like art, so kind of like gravitated to that direction
Mm-hmm.
because I used to draw and sketch manga,
Mm-hmm.
and then I turned into the graphic design field.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike Aina, I didn't study it in university. I was kind of like a self-learn. So yeah, that's the difference.
Well, sometimes it's better to work in the industry and hone your skills there. It
Yeah,
really depends on how you learn, really. Um, and yeah, we're not. Everybody is not working from home, and they're trying to get people back into the offices, which I think is absolutely wild. Because they're doing that, the traffic is so bad. So many people are complaining about it the past few days. But back to just your trajectory of work as a disabled person is so limited. I remember when I was a lot younger in junior school, I had this teacher who told me, "You better be good at academia because there's nothing else you can do." This is a teacher, though. Like, how absolute dare? She
I
didn't fathom that disabled people could have, normal average jobs. To
yeah,
her, your life as a disabled person is in academics. That's it.
not necessarily actually.
Like I will tell you that's not true because I'm a terrible student. I still am a terrible student. If I don't like what you're teaching, I will not learn. But I'm also an autodidact in that if I like the topic, I will learn it by myself.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same. I wouldn't learn something that I don't like.
Yeah, which is pretty much school when it's entertaining the whole idea of making people ready for a capitalist work structure. That is not the conversation we're having today. Um,
We
we
can
will
save
have
it
that
for another day.
conversation some other day because it's mostly complaining about capitalism. Who's next?
You?
It me? It turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is something about living with spinal muscular atrophy you wish you knew earlier?
Is that question number?
That is question number 3.
Okay, question number 3. Something about living with SMA you wish you knew earlier. I think I wish I knew earlier that it was nothing to be scared of, because when I was, younger, I didn't knew what, I wasn't really sure what it was, but I was kind of like scared to do a lot of things. So I ended up, sometimes when people ask me to go out, I'm like, no, I don't want to go out because I don't know how to handle myself outside there. But after I left the institute that I was living in, I started trying, to go out. I used public transport, and I discovered that it was actually okay. I
Hmm.
mean, as long as everything was functioning, lifts, the ramps, everything, then going out wasn't a problem. So yeah,
Huh.
I wish I knew that, it was nothing to be afraid of when I was younger.
Hmm. What about you, Aina?
I wish I knew how to prevent from getting scoliosis.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
think
wish
that's
like someone told me that hey, you need to take care of your scoliosis before it's getting worse, or yeah,
is there anything you're doing to sort of make it less worse now?
not really, just exercise,
Exercise.
physiotherapy. That's all.
Does your therapist make you wear like a back brace?
No, I
No.
don't wear it. I have it, but I don't wear it.
I think.
actually,
Uh
Aina,
huh.
scoliosis sometimes it depends on, you know, each individual's condition, because sometimes, like in my case, I try to prevent it, but the growth spurt actually accelerated the curve. So
Oh.
yeah, it
Mm.
didn't, because I was able to take care of myself last time. That was pre-op, pre-surgery, and the spine still went downhill. It curved very much. It was 100 degrees to the right on the upper back, and 135 degrees to the left at the lower back. So it's an S, an inverted S. So there wasn't much that I could do to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, because my mom, she also didn't do anything to stop it. She
Mm.
didn't take me for medical checkups and everything. So everything just went downhill way fast. So I think it's more like you can maintain, but sometimes it really depends on the condition. Yeah.
Mm.
Valid. Valid.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. What about me? What did I wish I knew about SMA? That I knew words. Yeah. So I wished that I wasn't such a hero because I thought if I put myself in a position where I relied on the wheelchair, I would make myself worse faster. But what that did was give me injuries that I shouldn't have. For example, falling and spraining my toe, which made me not be able to walk for a month, which is why I'm so afraid of falling. Um, if I had just put down my ego and used the wheelchair to get somewhere instead of forcing myself to walk, I wouldn't have gotten injured.
Okay.
So that's something that was a hard pill to swallow because I'm very stubborn, apparently.
Did you had an aversion to wheelchairs?
It's not an aversion. It's more like I give myself these limitations to remind my body how to function. Like if
Mm.
I can stand up, I will force myself to stand up.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, body, remember that you can do this. And then just knowing that, look, your body might remember how to do this, but you just don't have the strength.
Yeah,
Use the
that's true.
wheelchair. It's not a bad thing. Use the wheelchair once in a while. And eventually I use the wheelchair all the time. But
So you kind
just,
of like forced yourself.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm also like, if I didn't have SMA, I think I would be a very, very active person. I'll probably do CrossFit or whatever, or do
You're
Muay
already
Thai,
very active.
or
You are already very active.
I need to be
Yeah, you're
more
already
active.
ready.
I want to be more active. Like, I think I would be like a prime candidate for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or
Oh,
capoeira.
that's cool.
Yeah, those like physical um martial arts has always been something that I've been attracted to.
Hmm.
Like people who can control their body. So cool.
Like
So cool.
like extreme sports.
Oh, I love extreme sports. When I was younger, I would just watch the X Games. Oy, oy, oy,
Yeah,
oy.
X Games. It was the
So
best.
good. So good. So dangerous. Um, but yes,
Yeah,
I know.
true, true, true. Yep, I would love to try bungee jumping.
Oh my god. Okay, bungee jumping is something we cannot do. Like confirm, you can
Yeah,
jump off a plane because you have somebody strapped to your back. Like you definitely have to try this. It is very, very scary. I have done this before. Um,
Oh,
14,000 feet jump out of a tiny ass plane. Stuck to a giant 6 foot man. I couldn't breathe. Like the minute you jump out of the plane, your heart flies into your throat, and the entire split second you're just figuring out, how do I scream? It's exhilarating. But it is very different from bungee jumping, because bungee jumping, you need a full set of muscles and ligaments to make sure your bones don't pop
yeah,
and
when,
your neck doesn't snap.
yeah, pretty much. Like you need some body strength so that you don't turn into a million pieces.
I'm not gonna do
So
that because I have metal implants in my body. I'm not gonna do that.
yeah, I cannot do that. I wish I could though. It's
yeah.
terrifying. I'm afraid of heights, by the way.
Me too.
I'm afraid of water, not heights.
I'm not afraid of water. I'm afraid of heights. Um, I think it comes from the fear of falling down. Like when you've fallen down enough that you get injured so many times, you start getting an aversion to heights.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
That's understandable.
the Gaiat
Relatable.
is real, man. I can stand on top of 2 steps and already be like, no, I don't like this. I am barely 300 mm off the ground and I'm already like, no, I don't like this.
How tall are you?
I am, I believe, scoliosis notwithstanding, 152 centimeters. I'm very, very small.
152. Okay.
I'm very small.
That's cute.
Small yet spicy. Yes. Anyway, that was my question. Joyce, question number 3.
Um, wait, my turn, right?
Yes.
Yep.
My turn. Okay. Hmm. Let me go through my list. Uh, okay, I've already answered number 9 just now.
Good
Mm-hmm.
night.
You guys can have a look.
Okay.
Okay, I'll ask. Okay, has SMA taken anything away from you? If yes, how do you deal with it? We
Ah,
start off with Shah.
has SMA taken anything away from you? Um, uh, I,
Like the
I,
most important thing to you. Like
freedom.
for me, the piano. For you, freedom, right?
Like the ability to go out. Okay, you know what the most irritating thing about having SMA is? Not being
What?
able to go and buy pisang goreng by myself. You know how sometimes you wake up and you're like, I feel like pisang goreng, but you can't bother people to go and buy pisang goreng for you. And it's just outside. It's maybe a 15-minute walk or less. But because you have
Yeah.
SMA, because this country is so terrible when it comes to disabled people moving
Mm.
around, like it's
Yeah.
impossible. So you have to get shitty um you have to get shitty snacks. You have to get shitty pisang goreng from Food Panda, which is like overpriced.
It is.
It that SMA has taken that away from me, the ability to get up and say, I want snacks, and then go outside and get it. That hurts,
Okay.
man.
I can relate to that. Okay. So Aina?
SMA. What is it? I think that's a lot. Oh, my sister.
Oh, I
How do I
give.
deal with it? I don't know. I think I just let the time heals everything. And
Mm.
yeah, with the support from my friends, not family, but friends.
Mm,
I mean, that they take turns, to come to my house almost every day until I'm okay. I'm like, oh wow, okay, thanks.
Yeah, we
yeah,
understand. We understand your pain, Aina.
I
Hmm.
give internet hugs. I cannot give you real hugs because it's very awkward with a wheelchair.
We're gonna give her a virtual hug.
Like, no, seriously, if two people are in a wheelchair, giving hugs is the most awkward thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. The most we
How you
can
gonna
do
do it?
is like a sideways headbutt. It's like no, we cannot do the chest bump. We cannot do the huggy thing. We have to awkwardly like nudge you, like be okay. But I give you internet hugs. I know it. Your sister would have been wonderful had she lived. But
Yeah,
we
but that's
cannot live in the
life.
past. Yeah, we cannot live in the past. We have to move on. We have to fight for the rest of the people that
It's
can
okay, Aina. You
live.
got us. Aina, you got us.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can give awkward wheelchair hugs to each other.
sure.
Seriously, that should be a video. Like, how do wheelchair people hug? We can't. It's weird.
Yeah, we should record it.
It's weird. Also being at crotch height with everybody is not fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, being in a train and being at crotch height with people, no, do not like. Anyway, um, yeah, that's Ainaa. Joyce, you've answered it before.
Yeah.
I know. What's your third question? I'm going down my list by number, and you guys are jumping around, and I'm feeling like a little bit like, should I be jumping around? No, I don't want
Yeah,
to.
I'm jumping around. Okay, yeah, ultimate comfort food.
Oh, mashed potatoes, easy. Actually, yes,
Ooh.
I love mashed potatoes.
Anything to do with potatoes, yes. Think.
Yes,
Oh, potato. Okay. Oh,
the potato gang.
Mine would be anything to do with cheese.
Oh, cheese. But is it a specific kind of cheese? Any cheese or like,
Any cheese will do.
oh, cheese is so good. Okay, so we know what to get you for your birthday. A cheese box. Get you
Hey, cheese
some.
and potatoes go well with together. Cheese and potatoes.
Oh
Yes.
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 Actually, anything with potatoes go well together. Meat and
Yes.
potatoes, pasta and potatoes, potatoes and potatoes.
Potatoes are like, the king of vegetables, I think.
It's not even a vegetable. I remember there was this one time Jamie Oliver was like, "Oh, we need to get vegetables back on the kids menu at school." And then somebody was like, "Well, potato is a vegetable, so therefore chips is a vegetable." And we're like, no, no, don't be garbage. Eat vegetables. My other okay, I will say though, like I love potatoes, but my last meal, if I was on death row, would be nasi, budu, ikan bakar, and ulam.
Okay, what is
Okay.
nasi?
Okay, so it's rice, stinky fermented fish sauce,
Okay.
um, roasted fish, and herbs, like local herbs,
Hmm. Okay.
like Kelantanese until I die.
Oh, okay.
That is my last meal. I know people will be like, I want lobsters and steak, A5 wagyu. No, just give me rice and budu. I'm good.
Okay.
Yes. What is next?
I think your question.
Your question.
It's mine. Number 4.
Yeah.
What personality traits do you wish you had honed when you were younger?
Mm.
It's a tough one. This is a tough one because
Personality.
it forces you to be aware.
I think wait, I think that I had wished I had honed my, I don't know, thinking, like rational thinking. Like I wish I was softer when I was younger because I was kind of like harsh when I was younger.
Harsh?
Really
How so?
harsh. Harsh, like, to myself and to
Oh.
other people as well. Because I didn't interacted with people for almost like, I think 15 years, like totally zero social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first came out in society, I was a very angry person. Yeah, so I was afraid of everyone. I couldn't make eye contact. I did not like to talk to people.
Oh, so you
But
were
then after
feral.
that, sorry,
You were feral.
Arrow.
Yeah, like raised by wolves kind of thing.
Oh yeah, feral. Okay, yeah, yeah, kind of like wild child.
Yeah.
Okay, something like that. Okay, not really, but yeah, somewhere along the lines of that. So yeah, I wished I had honed my softness
Oh,
when I was
okay.
younger.
What about Aina?
I think being more confidence,
Mm.
especially in public.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
That makes sense. But you're plenty confident now, though.
Yeah, she's improved.
Is it? Maybe
I
not in
I think
public.
so. Like,
I mean,
like,
like last time you were so timid that like you wouldn't even say a word if you were like live.
oh,
Uh,
was it? I don't remember.
I mean, Aina.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that part in Aina's life where she was quiet. Because
Quiet.
Aina has always been like a very strong, um, silent type, but when Aina talks, it's very important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like
So
when
it's
she has to talk. When
yeah,
she has to talk.
but it's
yeah,
usually
that's the
very
moment when
important.
I have to talk. Like not
um,
every single.
I find it a good antithesis to me because I just talk. Like sometimes it's just not important, and I'm just like blah 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 blah. Um, so confidence, hey. Do you think you're sort of achieving what you
Um,
want as confidence?
I think so. It's almost not yet. Maybe almost.
Uh, I always make a joke that after you turn 30, nothing matters to you. Like women who turn 30 just automatically turn on a confidence switch
Oh,
because you just don't care anymore. You're like, I don't care. I don't have to impress anyone. What is this? I don't care. I'm gonna eat chips. Um,
let's see. I have like 3 more years till 30.
yes. I'm not saying that because I'm 35, but I will tell you that the minute I turned 30, it was like, no, screw everything. I'm doing what I want.
I think,
I think
we have to live our lives the
that
way
is
we
true.
want because you only live once, right? You cannot please everyone, so just
True,
live
true,
it the way
true,
you want.
true. Fill your own cup first. I think what I wish I learned earlier was how to say no, like as a child.
Like really, you don't seem like the kind of person who would say yes
That's because
easily.
Yeah.
I'm over 30 and I have giveth zero the F. I have no more F's to give.
You've run out of apps.
I've run out of F's. Spam F in the chat. Um,
I think you can just go ahead and say F. If like you go and say F, I will just go and say F.
I'm trying to keep it like family friendly. I swear a lot. It's a conscious effort to not swear.
I
Um,
try not to swear, but sometimes the situation really calls for it.
swearing is fun. Swearing is
Sometimes.
impactful. It It makes your words, it makes your sentence punchy, but sometimes it's also funny. Um, but that is not the point. The point is when I was younger, I wanted so much to fit in. Like when I'm talking younger, I mean like in my early teens and younger. Like I wanted to fit in. I wanted to have more friends. I wanted to go out. I wanted to not be different.
Mm.
And when you have that mindset, it's very hard for you to say no when the thing that you need to do the most is say no.
Like you try to fit in, right?
Yeah, oh my God. It was terrible. It was
I've
terrible.
I've quit doing that. I don't want to fit in anymore. I just want to be myself.
Ah,
I don't see the point anymore.
ah. Sometimes fitting in, not as fun. Being weird is fun. But those are the things we learn as we get older. I this is less a personality trait, but more a thing that I wish I did when I was little. I wish I read more philosophical books as a child so I could sass people. Like I wish I was a smarter kid.
I think you need time to accumulate wisdom.
That is true. There's a Terry Pratchett quote. Um, he's the writer of Discworld and many other books, and I love him so much. Um, Terry Pratchett wrote. Uh, hang on, I'm gonna find this. Talks amongst yourselves. Wisdom. Terry Pratchett. Eh. Wisdom comes from experience. Experience is often a result of a lack of wisdom.
Okay, that's true. It's a
Terry
vicious
Pratchett.
circle.
Yes. So do a dumb thing, acquire wisdom. To acquire wisdom, you need to do dumb thing.
But don't do dumb things repeatedly.
Oh no, if you do dumb thing repeatedly, it means you're dumb. Um, what is it? That's the definition of insanity. To do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Don't do a dumb thing, says the people on social media every day. Anyway, Joyce, your turn.
My turn. Okay. Um, what should I ask? What's the most stupid thing you've had someone tell you about your SMA condition?
Oh, so many. Okay, I'm only going to tell one story because there are so many stories, but this one pops to mind immediately. So I was in a cab several years ago, and there was this uncle. It's always a cab uncle, very friendly fellow, asking me about things, and I was talking to him about the disease, and he came up with this very peer reviewed. It wasn't peer reviewed. Anecdote of what to do when you have a disease like me is to never cook and eat three different kinds of meat because it will make your blood bad. I just sat there in the car like, what? That's not how food works. What? He was like, okay, you must never eat in the same sitting chicken, beef, and fish at the same time. And I'm like, what? What science? What mad science have you? My brain's like, this is not peer reviewed. What nonsense. And then another thing he said shortly after is women um have to be good wives. And he asked me, oh, do you have a boyfriend yet? And I was like, no. Oh, you must find a good boyfriend. He will take care of you. And I'm like, actually, I can take care of myself. So
Yeah, that's true.
the wild things fly out of people's mouth. I know. What about you?
I'm too young to be disabled.
Oh, you're too young to be disabled. I see. Yeah. So what is the optimal age of to be disabled? Like, do I have to go and fight a war first? Like, do I have to bear five children and then become disabled? Like, what is the age threshold? Did they say anything
Oh
about
my
that?
god.
No, I don't know. Maybe she said like you're about 20 plus still young kan. So macam too young. Make it 30 or 40 maybe.
Can you write a letter to God that said, this lady said I'm too young to be disabled, so can you take it back and give it to me maybe in like 20 years? Um, Thanks.
Oh my god.
That is wild.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like,
Okay.
what kind of person is she? Like, can I ask? You don't have to name names, just
No, I don't know
situationally.
her. I don't know her. Just a random stranger
Like,
that said that to me.
like kat tepi jalan ke? Like, where you were
No,
while you
it's at
were
the hospital.
at the hospital.
Yeah.
What? I'm offended for you.
It's like, yeah, okay lah. So okay, then we just bye bye, just for a while.
Just walk away like, okay, bye.
There are a lot of weird people at hospitals, trust me.
I thankfully I've stayed away from them. There's a lot of weird people driving cabs, and they're very chatty. Anyway, Joyce, what about you? Weirdest
It,
thing?
it's not the weirdest, it's the most ridiculous. Okay, so here's the thing. My family, my dad, he always asks this question. Same for my mom, but we won't talk about her because, it's,
She
she's like that.
she's a
So my
monster.
dad, he would always ask, my dad always asks me, why are you being deliberately disabled?
What? Let me just turn on the disability switch just to annoy you. What? I.
And so I usually don't answer that question because I do not have an answer for that.
How do you,
Okay. I would
what?
just stare at him.
I can't even fathom how you would even ask that question.
I would just stare at him and I would just smile at him. I will not reply to that question because it is ridiculous. I mean, even for my brother, my older brother, he would ask the same question.
I,
I mean, practically the whole family asks that question.
oh God.
I think around 70% they think that I am being deliberately disabled and not wanting to walk when I can walk. So I don't have an answer for that. I will not answer that question and I will just only smile and look at them.
That is some beyond ableist bullshit. Like, I I can't even. Ooh. Okay, I do have a story. Um, and I guess you could parse it under most ridiculous thing ever said to me. So this was in Chempaka schools. I was there for A levels. I didn't do very well, don't worry. But there was this one time it was after lunch, so we would all go back to class, and I had tripped and fallen down, and I couldn't get up. So the guys were assisting me. They were getting a chair and trying to get me up. And this teacher, this valid adult, this person who is in a position of power teaching young minds to become better people, walks up to me, looks down at me instead of asking if I needed help. He asked me what I'm doing on the floor. And I said, "Oh, I fell." He goes, "Oh, why?" So I explained I have spinal muscular atrophy. Sometimes my legs just fail because I'm very weak, blah, blah, blah. And he looks at me dead in the eyes, right? Still looking down. My friend's bringing the red plastic chair so that they can help me back up. And he says, "Oh, but you could walk yesterday." And I'm just like, "You are an educator." This never flew out of my mouth, by the way, because I was young and I wanted to go back to class and I was tired. And I just couldn't believe this came out of his mouth. But I was so angry. How dare you say I could walk yesterday when you don't know the situation that I've been? And if things were different, if I ran into your legs with a bulldozer, you could walk yesterday too. That's not a threat. I would never do that. I can't drive. But it's wild how people have such ableist ideas on disability. Like, oh, you could have done this, you could have done that. If we
I
could
think
have, we would have.
I think it's mostly because they don't understand the situation, and most of them, they don't know what you know the real situation is, so they just comment from their assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
I think have their own opinions, no wrong in that, but because they are not aware of things like this, so
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we cannot blame them, because not many people would want to read up about stuff like this.
Uh-huh. But the wild thing is, when you do take your time to explain to them, they have so much ego that they won't listen to you.
Yeah, that is another problem, but I would usually choose to not argue, because that is their opinion and they have the right to have their own opinion. If they cannot accept the fact, then we'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no point of arguing with them.
Because no matter how much we explain, they will not accept
Yes.
the
Yeah.
fact.
So this is why I have no more F's to give. It's like you want to say that, Gisela? I don't care anymore. Like you sit there in your ignorance. I really don't care anymore. I know. Next question.
What is one thing most people don't know about you?
Ah, Joyce, answer first. I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll catch the ball. Wait. What's the number?
Seven.
Number 7. Hmm. Okay, what's one thing most people don't know about me? Um, they don't know I have depression,
Mm,
because I don't look like I have depression.
mm,
Yeah, and
Mhm.
they're always saying, "Hey, you look cheerful and stuff like that. You're so positive." But in reality, I am not a positive person. I am more like realistic and kind of like more towards the negative side, because I see things as they are. So
mm-hmm.
the first impression that people have of me is always, "You're so positive," and blah blah
Oh,
blah.
I hate that phrase. I hate that phrase so much when people go, "Oh, you're such an inspiration." Why am I inspiration? Are you so lazy that you can't get up in the morning? What is happening? What is going on with you that you need me as an inspiration? Like, you are so positive. Bitch, I have to be, otherwise I'll be dead tomorrow. Oh my
Okay.
god.
Yeah. So
Are you seeing anyone about your depression?
I usually don't tell people, because it's the same thing. They won't. They just won't. You know. They just won't listen. So I
Mm-hmm.
usually don't say anything about that unless I feel like I have to.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
well, it's kind of dark actually about this, because there are dark aspects to my depression,
mm-hmm.
because mostly it tends to gravitate towards suicide.
I
Mhm.
that
So, but
that
don't worry. I am still in control. So don't worry. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the
Well,
ideation
it's
of is
yeah, the
very difficult.
ideation of doing that, but I don't do it because I know that it's not something that you're supposed to do. So, but it's still like, well, it's still enticing sometimes.
I mean, it's easy. There's a lot of things to unpack here.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
I won't go into that today. So
Yeah, I we
maybe the next
can
session.
we can go into that, especially when we're talking about that. But sort of because I don't want to get hit with terms and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
conditions
yeah,
of
yeah. So we'll
Twitch. We
skip
have
that. We'll
to.
skip that.
No, we don't have to skip it. We just have to word it in a different way.
Word it in a different way.
Yeah, we'll still talk about it. We'll just use code words for certain things that we'll discuss off air. Because this is a
So,
very, very important topic to have. Not many people talk about this. It's also something that needs to come with like a big trigger warning.
I think people don't talk about it in Asia because it's mostly taboo.
Oh yes. It's
Yes.
also illegal in this country, by the way.
Yeah, it's illegal.
Like
Yeah.
it's wild to me to know because I do have people who are working to sort of
Mm.
change the law on this one. It's wild that when you decide to do the thing
You will
to
get
end,
arrested.
yeah, you will get arrested and put in jail. Where,
Yes, that is true.
like, why? Surely somebody who has tried to do the thing should be put in therapy instead of jail. Surely somebody should talk to them about what is going on and see whether they need help. Could it be like a medicative help? Could it be therapy? What is going on? Instead, no, go to jail. Go to jail forever. I that is wild for me. So we'll definitely talk about this because there's a bunch of things related to that that is hopefully less negative. I know it's such a
You're right.
negative thing to talk about for most people, but it's like taxes to me. It's something that just happens. You are a human being. It is part of your life.
Yeah, so emotions are valid. So yeah, so
Um
I don't know why people don't. I don't know. Maybe it's the concept or the mindset, something to do with culture or religion or something
it's
like that.
culture and religion. Well, we'll talk about this next week because it's a very interesting topic to have. Ainaa, you didn't answer the
Me?
question yet.
Don't even know why is that people don't know about me. I'm not sure.
People
I
don't
think that
know.
people, I think people know everything about me.
No,
Do we? I don't know what your favorite color is.
blue.
See, Joyce, no.
How? Oh, come on, that's such a cop out. Boo. um. Okay. We'll get back to that. I know. One day we'll figure
Mm.
out what we don't know about you.
No, I think I know. Aina is small. She looks like she doesn't have much, to her, but she is actually very strong, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Mhm.
Hmm?
Mhm.
So for me, that is something that most people don't know about Aina. She
Her
is strong
resilience
and
is
resilient.
wild.
Yes,
Um, and
Mm.
I think she doesn't know that herself either.
and she has a very good relationship with her mom
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous of, but at the same time,
I am also
mm,
jealous, but I think it's great that she has a great relationship with her mom.
yeah, we can be jealous of each other, but in a positive way.
Yeah.
No, it's less jealous, and I'm very happy for you because not a lot of people get to experience that kind of
Yeah,
closeness. Um,
not everyone. That's true.
so I guess suffice it to say, and you don't have to answer this, is you probably have a lot of internal problems having to do with being so close to your parents that you don't want to talk about, and it's fine.
Mm, not so far. No.
Oh,
No.
you,
No.
oh, my brain. First
I think
time.
I think it's a healthy relationship if it's that way.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah. No, unicorn man. I'm so happy for you. Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. I know what is
Mhm.
your question.
My questions or mine?
Yeah.
I thought I asked it just now.
No, Joyce baru tanya.
So I think it's my turn.
Oh, is it your
I
turn?
think it's Joyce's. Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know whose turn is it anymore.
okay, never mind. Wait, are we going down like the list, like you first and then Aina and then me, or is it like
Uh,
random? Because I don't know. I don't really know whose turn it is.
At this point, if you have a
Correct.
question that you really want to ask away. We also have another
I think it's Aina's turn.
20 minutes. Yeah, it's Ina's
Oh,
turn.
it's
We
my
have
turn.
another
Okay.
20 minutes of Q&A and then we have to close the session.
Okay. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
4. Levitation.
Ooh.
I want to be like Static Shock and float my chair so that stairs are never a problem.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I think for me it would be like psychic powers, like X-Men, Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. Yeah.
Yeah,
She can also levitate things. She has telekinesis.
yeah, telekinesis. That's why I like. Yeah,
Yes.
almost similar to Shaw. How about you, Aina?
I want to read people's mind.
Why? It's so messy in people's heads.
It's okay. Let me read that. I just want to read. I want to know
They're
what it
so
be.
noisy. People are so noisy, and you get to hear thoughts like, "Oh, I wonder if I brushed my teeth. Did I put on deodorant? I need to poop." Those are the kind of thoughts you will hear on a regular basis. And another pervasive one that if you sort of walk around, this is not me reading thoughts. This is me watching people's face and seeing what they want to do. Guys will go, "I need to scratch my balls." And then girls will go, "My bra is very uncomfortable. I need to pull on the strap. But I'm in public and I can't do that."
Okay.
People are weird. You do not want to know what they think. It's a very bad idea.
Okay.
Most people's thoughts, you can read them on Twitter.
Oh yeah. True.
Like, you want to read
I was
people's
like,
minds? Go on Twitter.
just Twitter.
I
Okay.
haven't been on Twitter for so long.
Uh, Twitter is one of those things that you really have to curate. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Twitter is awful," and I'm like, my Twitter feed is fine. What are you talking about? I have activists. I have very intelligent people. I have a lot of Dungeons and Dragons content, which is kind of ridiculous. I have memes. I have cute pictures of animals. That is most of what it is. Also, people
I
complaining about the government.
prefer to curate on Pinterest.
I don't use Pinterest.
Pictures.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pictures. I have Pinterest for my characters that I play in Dungeons and Dragons. That's it. And houses or
That's fine,
design
that's fine.
stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, mostly we're on Pinterest for design stuff. You know, for
Mhm.
inspiration and reference and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay.
Okay, so
This
my turn.
yes.
How many minutes do we have?
We have another 18
18
minutes.
18 minutes, okay. Okay, let me look at my list.
it looks like you ask everything.
Um, ever wonder why people stare when you're out in your wheelchair or
Oh.
scooter or slash adaptive devices? How do you deal with it?
Oh, we have the same question.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a good question. People stare, I believe it's because they have questions. But because we as a society have been taught to not stick out, to not ask important questions, to not make yourself known, what they do is they just watch, hoping that
To the
somebody
point.
would ask a
To
question.
the point. I tell you what. To the point where they are walking forward and they have already walked a distance. Their neck is still turning around, looking at you.
Um, I, I want to implement a thing like if you stare for longer than 20 seconds, I will bring out a QR code and you have to give me $5. Like that's a fee for staring.
Staring.
But yeah, I believe they have questions, and they're too shy or non-committal or too afraid to ask about it because when you ask questions that are considered taboo, like it's kind of rude to go up to someone and say, "Hey, why are you like this? What do you mean, why am I like this?" If you're nice, you will get an explanation. If I have time, I'll be like, "Oh, I have spinal muscular atrophy, blah blah blah. Do you know this? Do you know this? I
Yeah.
check out this website." Sometimes they look at the machine and they have older parents or they have uncles and aunties that need this assistive device, so they want to ask questions, but again they're shy.
Yeah. I actually do have a lot of people coming up to me sometimes when I go out and they ask, where did you get this chair and how do I get it? I mean, because my parents or someone that needs it, and I'm like, well, you can just look at the back and there's a sticker there.
Hmm.
I've been doing a lot of free advertising for a
Yeah,
company that doesn't endorse me.
they need to pay us.
Yeah. People will be asked like, where do you get your wheelchair?
Yeah.
Where do you get it? Yeah.
Like, hello,
Yeah.
Travel Scoot, and other companies. Yeah, we use your shit. I would like a free battery every 3 years, please. Thanks. Batteries are so expensive. And the other thing
Yeah.
they would ask is, oh, that's so nice. And I'll be like, yeah, it is. I kind of need it. It's like my legs, you know. And they're like, oh, where can I get one? And I'm like, oh, you can get it on blah 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 website. It's this one. I'll write it out and I give it to them. How much is it? And then I'll tell them the price. And immediately you see Satan himself come out of their body and inhabit the sky because their eyes roll back in amazement at how much you have to pay for the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they cannot fathom that assistive device is so expensive.
It is expensive.
It is. Even
And
the
then,
battery itself too pun
oh
dah
my
berapa.
god, battery sakit kot. Like my battery is so expensive. And I have to buy like a replacement soon. I'm not looking forward to that. Anyway,
What's the
um
cost for your battery? I mean,
the
do you use
the
units or
battery
is it one unit?
it's 1 unit. It's a lithium ion battery. Self
Lithium.
encased. I think it's 200
Yeah.
275 watt hour. I
Okay.
think.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's 275 watt hour, and it costs 900 to 1,200 Aussie dollars.
Oh,
Oh.
oh my God.
And that's not
That
even like we can't ship it here because you can't put that on a
yeah.
plane.
I mean, you can ship it by like ocean freight, but not by air.
Yeah, and they will not do that. So when I had to buy mine, it was concurrent with the fact that I had to go to Melbourne for my friend's wedding. So I picked up a
Mm-hmm.
new one, luckily,
Mm-hmm.
and that was before COVID.
Mm.
Otherwise,
Mm.
I would be stuck, dude. Battery die cannot live. But it's
Oh
also
my
wild to
God.
me that they ask
Yeah.
these questions, they bulk the price, and then the same group of people will have the audacity and very recently to say, "Oh, senangnya jadi OKU, you get so much monetary help from the government." Like,
No such thing.
excuse me? How dare you, first of all, think that all this assistive device is free?
Uh,
It-
I think they have no idea that we
Yeah.
have to buy ourselves.
Ah, I cannot. There's so many problems in this country that we cannot address as an individual. Yeah.
It's the lack of awareness.
Yeah. I know
Me, people stare. I will just stare back at them, and then
And
they
what
will stop
happens?
staring.
Ah,
there
okay.
there's this girl whose blog I used to frequent, and she doesn't blog anymore. But she's very large. She's a very like large, heavy set woman, but she also
Mm.
wears very nice clothes. And she's very comfortable in her skin, and we should applaud her for that. And she's very healthy. Like
Mhm.
she's not obese as in sick obese. She's just big and
It's
strong,
curvy.
right? So people like to look at her, and her reaction to that is to look at them with a raised eyebrow and say, "Tengok apa? Ada hutang ke?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that is such a spicy thing to say. I love it. I'm gonna steal it." But yes,
Yeah. When we stare back, it helps actually.
I
Yeah, I did try that. I did try that, and then the person stopped staring because he felt uncomfortable.
yes,
I see.
the re-stare. I think the easiest thing I tend to do, mostly as an extrovert, is ask them how can I help them, because most of the time they just want to engage, they don't know how.
I don't think they want to engage because usually, like, they would just stare and they would just walk, and
I
then sometimes they would just like, yeah, I don't know.
I've had a pretty good sort of like generally good interaction with people who look. Um, I've gotten a few clients from them as well. Like people think and I'll be like, oh, by the way, I'm an interior designer, so
Oh, that's nice.
and they'll be like, oh, actually, I went to do my house, and I'm like, okay, let's change details. Got some clients that
Networking,
way.
networking.
Gotta be a little bit muka tebal, you know.
Yeah.
And another thing that happens is I think question in general. This is not in my list. If you fall down or have an accident happen to you, nothing bad. What do you do? Like if nobody is around to help you, nobody that you know. Email.
Come again, the questions.
If you met with an accident, like you're in the
Mhm.
wheelchair and then wheelchair terjatuh or something,
Okay.
and nobody is around to help you, what would you do?
Try to get up myself, if possible. If not, just lay down there, waiting for people.
and cry. But what would you do if there were people around but you didn't know them?
Oh, I will call for help.
Okay.
Yeah, I think probably like that.
Yeah,
Mm.
we sort of have built in Mukatabal in that we're already on like a response mission where like, okay, we're on the floor. I don't want to be on the floor. You. I find that the easiest thing is to identify one person and call them by their shit name. Like if they're wearing a blue shirt, I'm like, blue shirt guy. They cannot run away because I've identified them, so now they have to help.
Thing is, usually before I ask for help, if something like that happens, I would usually tell myself, I would say, I would just like, say some really bad words in my mind, and I'll be like, it. I would like, just think, okay, we have to solve this problem. So yeah, I have to inevitably ask for help.
Mhm. I mean, I think it's one of our superpowers, the ability to isolate someone and ask them for help, and they cannot deny.
There might be a possibility that they might deny.
Um, so far that hasn't happened. I fall a lot in public because reasons. So far, so good. You want it to be in like a public enough area where there's more than 5 people, so that when you call a person out, they cannot just run away because it's embarrassing. So you peer pressure them into helping you. It's actually really funny. Psychologically, we're terrible. Like if you give us the ability to become average human beings, we know enough about the human psyche to be able to use it effectively, and that's terrifying.
I am not really into studying that because, oh, first of all, I'm introverted, so I, kind of like control everything internally.
Ah, it's okay. You'll work through it when you feel like it. It's fine.
Hmm.
Um, okay, quick fire round. We have 6 minutes to go. I think we have one more question. I am not gonna ask my questions because we can leave that to another day.
Okay.
Do you have any questions that you wanna ask before we close this session?
I think I asked everything already. Almost the one that I wanted to ask.
Okay.
Nope. No.
I think your list.
Nothing.
Wait, let me see. Okay, I'll just ask number 10.
Okay.
What's your favorite way of chilling? With your
Oh,
homies or alone?
with my
Netflix.
Netflix with my homies. I love my people.
Yeah.
Um,
Netflix.
I I enjoy being with my friends. We play a lot of board games. During COVID times, it was especially strenuous for me because I couldn't see my friends. So we ended up buying a lot of board games online and tried to play. It was terrible. Play a lot of video games with my friends. As long as the thing activity comes with a hashtag my friends, I'm good.
Hmm.
Mm.
Being alone is quite boring. I'm not against it. I
Yeah,
have a lot of
yeah.
things that I tend to do alone. I have
Hmm.
my alone time, but I would prefer to be out with people.
Okay, that's understandable because you are an extrovert.
Yeah. I know what Netflix. What you been watching? Have you guys watched? Um,
I don't watch
l-
Netflix.
you should watch Love, Death, and Robots. It's so good. Ah,
You have to
it's so good.
subscribe. You have to
Huh?
subscribe to it, right? I mean, you have to subscribe. It's a monthly
Yeah,
subscription.
Yeah.
So I don't do that because I can always watch online
you can
other stuff.
yar har har it. I mean, I didn't say that. What? I no.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Shh. We don't say the words. Shh.
Code, yeah.
Secret, secret. But Love, Death, and Robots season 3. I am saying this only because it's very, very, very good, and I'm very sad that there's so little episodes, and I have inhaled all of it, and you should definitely watch it. And
Did
if
you do a
this,
marathon on it?
I inhale things very fast. Like I eat media
Okay.
I watch things at 2 times the speed or more,
Hmm.
Mm.
like a psycho. My podcasts are at 2.5 right now, like a psycho. Um, I know a lot of people cannot relate, and I'm like, as long as I get the information, it's fine. Like I just want information, and some people speak so slowly, and I'm like, talk faster lah, yo. Like, if I were to re-listen to anything I casted, I will watch it at 2 times the speed as well because I talk so slow, faster lah, yo.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I now watch Love, Death, and Robots. So good.
Okay. Gonna watch it. Put it in the list.
Yes. Um,
So
Another
yeah.
thing that I have recently watched that is really, really good.
Mm.
People said it was good. People told me it was good. So I went in with very high expectations. When I watched it, it blew me out of the water. Like it was so good, it went beyond my expectations. It's everything everywhere all at once.
What movie or
It's a movie with Michelle Yeoh. It's so good. Oh my god, it is so good.
What's the title?
yeah? What's the title?
Everything everywhere all at once.
Everything Everywhere All
Think
at Once.
everywhere all at once.
Yes.
Oh.
And with that, that is all the time we have this week. We will see you next month around the same time, depending on what Joyce and Ainaa confirm.
Mm.
But
Yep.
I
It's
hope
next week and next month, right?
next month. Like next week,
Uh-huh.
it's like once a month is fine. I think. Plus, we have a
And
serious,
Yeah.
important topic next week that comes with a trigger warning, so it's not for everyone, but it's a topic that we feel that we must discuss.
Mm-mm.
Thank you for watching. I hope that it has been enlightening. I hope that it has been fun for Joyce and Ainaa to just sit down and talk shit for an inordinate amount of time.
it was nice. I
Yes, it
mean,
was nice.
kind of like chilling out, you know.
I hope, Joyce, that you don't feel too panicked about it, that this is like, it's normal. Like, people hang out on Twitch all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of was like nervous during the beginning, but now I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, chill,
It's
relax.
chill. We can all we want. It's fine. Thank you everybody who was on chat. Basma and Jagjit. Thank you for watching. Everybody else who didn't come on chat, thank you for watching as well. And we will see you next month. And we'll say goodbye. Good night. Be good. Be
Night.
safe.
Good night. Be safe.
Let COVID not haunt your dreams anymore. And tell your boss that being in the office is stupid. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.